What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld podcast. And right now we're going to be talking about Thursday Night Football, Week 11 being kicked off, Amazon Prime. You know what it is on Thursdays. You can stream it on Twitch and also on your computer right there on Amazon. So right here, what we're going to be talking about is the fact that Joe Burrow and his Bengals got dominated. But I understand, before you Bengal fans start going crazy, I know he got injured on that touchdown, Joe Burrow, with the wrist injury. I understand that, but Lamar Jackson did also lose his star tight end early on in the game as well. Injuries were all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So we have to take a look at it from all, possibilities and just see, like, all right, what exactly happened in this game? And this is what we're going to go ahead and dissect, right? So realistically, the Ravens were lucky on a lot of stuff, the tip pass, stuff like that. OBJ was going crazy. Obviously getting over 100 yards. He hasn't been that guy, and obviously we're never going to get that OBJ back from the Giants, all right? So all you guys that are Raven fans, and it's like, oh my God, Truz and all that stuff, it was just a game where it just worked out well, where OBJ was able to be put into, certain positions to play well. Gus Edwards went wild in the red zone for 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson also had 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 3 times, but like I said, they played very well. And overall, in my opinion, I think they thoroughly dominated the Bengals. Now, in the second quarter, when Joe Burrow went out, we already knew what was going to go on. Okay, we honestly knew exactly what the situation was going to be. Jake Browning, dude, like, we all know what he's going to go out there and do. But honestly, I don't think he played that bad as far as managing the game, but the defense wasn't able to do much because obviously Lamar Jackson, he's going to do whatever he wants in most cases. I will say this, though, about the way that Lamar was playing. He has to start sliding a little bit more and stop taking those tackles, bro. That's the one thing. Like, we make fun of Kyler Murray, bro, but the dude is he's a little tiny guy and he got injured for mad long or whatever. But for the most part, he's always sliding. Sometimes Lamar can, he can lay down and he just continues to run and he goes ahead and takes those hits. And I just think that if you're going to go into the playoffs and possibly try to do something there, I don't like that too much. But the Baltimore Ravens are 8-3. The Bengals are 5-5. They are last in the division. So more than likely, depending on what comes out of this wrist injury, the Bengals are pretty much done. Not saying that they're going to tank or do something like that, like for the rest of the season, because obviously nobody can be worse than the Giants. But it's going to be a situation where we got to actually take a close look at this and figure out what's going to go on. Jamar Chase on the sideline yesterday, once Burrow was injured, that was a very, very bad sight to look at. Like, he was just so sad. But one of the things that I don't see out of him is more of the prima donna, like the digs or, whatever. Like, dude, I don't really see that wide receiver, that type of like craziness where you're just going to start wilding out and being a weirdo. He just looks like he takes it as it comes through. So, I don't see anything like Instagram posts and, all that other kind of weird stuff. But it has to be kind of hard to deal with the fact that Joe Burrow this season has not been Joe Burrow from last season. And I'm not saying it's because he got paid, but the injuries that he hasn't been able to be out there on the field enough. And that's one of the major issues that I believe is going on right now. The frustration is there, but I just don't think that Jamar Chase is going to go above and beyond because he knows that when Joe Burrow is healthy, he's a much better quarterback. It's just the fact that things like this happen. All right. Now, we're not going to go down the road of like a Deshaun Watson. That guy right there doesn't care about anything. I'm going to be honest. I know he got injured, but before he got injured, he was playing like he didn't care anyway. Like he was just trying to get a massage on the field. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I will tell you this, right? We saw Joe Burrow play healthy. We saw him not, play healthy. And the difference is like immense. It's really nasty. So as far as the Bengals go right now, more than likely, Bengal fans, you will not make the playoffs. Okay, Jake Browning sucks, but then again, he wasn't that bad. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know, like, he did some things that were good. He did some things where it's like, yo, what are you doing? But then again, with the backup quarterback position, it's been a while since we've seen a suitable backup quarterback to where it's like, oh my God, that guy's pretty decent. He can hold down the fort. Very, very difficult to get a second string quarterback that's going to sit there and just deal with whatever's going on. So again, I don't know what's happening with this team. I know there were high hopes. The Bengals paid Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson got paid. But one team is operating on a different level. Now, the Ravens should actually be 9-1. Because those 2 games that they lost, they were actually winning it, and they just collapsed at the end. So the Ravens are actually like a team where I don't really know what they're doing, but if they figure out how to close out games, they're going to be very, very dangerous. Because like I said, I'm not even worried about the OBJ with the 116 yards. That right there is like, dude, I don't know what, I don't even have words for that. I couldn't believe that he was doing that. So that one long one that he had for 51 yards, that took him way over the top. He had 7 targets, he had the 4 receptions, but it's an anomaly. It's no way that this guy's going to consistently do this. He doesn't have that, he doesn't have that young man legs anymore, dude. The injuries have really robbed him from a lot of what he's able to do, and you can see that he's not as fast. When he caught that pass over the shoulder, and he almost could have went for 6 when he stopped, he did a little stop and go, and he got caught. If that's Giants OBJ, that's 6. We all know that. Everybody that's listening to this right now knows that if that's OBJ from the Giants, that's 6. But he got caught. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, look, he can't move the same way. Now, is he somebody that can be useful in the playoffs? Because right now, we're talking playoffs. The Ravens are not talking about the regular season. I know they got, you got to finish out the season. But I think based on what we're seeing, we're thinking playoffs as far as like people that watch the games and that comment on it. What are they going to do in the playoffs? Who are their star players? We don't got to worry about the Bengals, all right? They suck right now, and I don't know what that wrist injury is going to do, but I got to be totally honest. I'm out on the Bengals. Burrow's been injured way too much this season, so we're not even going to go and act like that's going to be something that's going to happen or if it's going to be a possibility. They are done, all right? Let's focus in on the team that actually is going to go to the playoffs. OBJ, right? What is he going to do? Is he going to be somebody that you can rely on? Zay Flowers, super speedster. He only had 43 yards last night. Nelson Aguilar, lucky tip. That's how he got a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So Mark Andrews, what's going to happen with him? That dude being injured is a major, major problem. That is extremely major, bro. So I don't, dude, he better be ready by the time that, the playoffs come. We got to check in on that injury. Gus Edwards, 12 carries. You know what I'm saying? 62 yards. Lamar Jackson right next to him with 54 yards on 9 carries. Dude, that's going to continue because the dude is just way too fast and he's very hard to stop. So that's going to obviously continue to happen. So we have to monitor that. If you're playing on defense, that dual threat action is going to be a monster. With the way that they're set up right now, they can beat any team in the league. But it's about matchups. You got to still deal with Patty Mahomes. Can you beat Patty Mahomes? See, that's the problem. A lot of dudes don't want to talk about it, but Patty Mahomes out there waiting like, yo, dude, he like, yeah, what's up, dudes? Like, he's ready to go. That team is ready to go. Their defense is playing better. We're starting to look around and see what's happening. What is going to be the major thing? I think their major problem, and like honestly, right now, just thinking off the top of my head, is the Bengals. That for anybody in the AFC, the Chargers suck. Like all the other teams, dude, I don't even know what they're doing. Most of them suck. The Ravens and the Bengals are who I think about when I think playoffs in the AFC. When I think NFC, I think Eagles and Lions. And I know that sounds wild that I'm putting the Lions there. That team is tough. So we're going to wait to see how this all unfolds. And we're going to be talking about this, obviously, every week leading up to the playoffs. But it's about to get real enticing. But again, I just feel that the Bengals are done. Depending on what happens with Joe Burrow and his injury, maybe they find a way to sneak in. I don't like their chances. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. Thank you for listening and watching. Remember, you can download this podcast for free. iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Search GmiasWorld Podcast. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.